Hunting the Shadows, Unraveling the Enigma of the Smiley Face Killers. It was a crisp autumn night in Minneapolis, and the streets buzzed with the energy of college students enjoying their freedom. Among them was Chris Jenkins, a popular young man with a bright future ahead. Little did he know that this would be his last night alive. As the hours passed and the drinks flowed, Chris found himself bidding farewell to his friends outside a downtown bar. He promised to catch up with them later and set off into the night, his steps unsteady but his spirits high. It was the last time anyone would see him alive. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but there was no sign of Chris Jenkins. His family and friends searched desperately for any clue to his whereabouts, but their efforts yielded nothing. Then, one fateful day, a grim discovery sent shockwaves through the community. Chris's body was found floating in the Mississippi River, miles downstream from where he was last seen. His death was initially ruled an accidental drowning, but something about the scene struck Detective Sarah Johnson as off. Nearby, spray-painted on a bridge support, was a small, crude smiley face. As Detective Johnson delved deeper into Chris Jenkins's death, she uncovered a pattern that sent chills down her spine. It wasn't just Chris. There were other young men, from Minneapolis to New York City, who had disappeared under eerily similar circumstances. Each case followed a disturbingly familiar pattern. Young, athletic men, often college students, vanishing after nights out drinking, only to be found dead in bodies of water with smiley face graffiti nearby. The similarities were too striking to be mere coincidence. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Detective Johnson embarked on a mission to unravel the mystery of the smiley face killers. She pored over case files, interviewed witnesses, and consulted with experts in criminal psychology. But with each step forward, she found herself confronted with more questions than answers. Who were the smiley face killers? What motivated them to target these young men? And perhaps most importantly, how had they managed to evade capture for so long? The answers remained frustratingly elusive. As Detective Johnson dug deeper, she found herself drawn into a shadowy world of secrets and conspiracies. Some whispered of a secret society, while others believed the killings were the work of a lone psychopath. But as the body count continued to rise, one thing became clear. The smiley face killers were real, and they were still out there, lurking in the darkness. Undeterred by the dangers that lay ahead, Detective Johnson pressed on, determined to bring the killers to justice and bring closure to the families of the victims. But with each passing day, the task seemed more daunting and the truth more elusive. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, a breakthrough occurred. A rookie detective stumbled upon a clue buried in the depths of the case files, a cryptic message hidden within the graffiti, hinting at the killer's true identity. With renewed determination, Detective Johnson followed the trail, piecing together the puzzle one clue at a time until the truth finally came to light. But as she closed in on her quarry, she realized that the darkness ran deeper than she ever could have imagined. In a dramatic twist of fate, the smiley face killers were unmasked, their true identities laid bare for all to see. But as Detective Johnson stared into the eyes of the men responsible for so much death and suffering, she realized that the battle was far from over. The smiley face killers may have been defeated, but their legacy would live on, haunting the nightmares of those who dared to delve too deep into the darkness. And as Detective Johnson walked away from the scene, she knew that some mysteries were never meant to be solved. Epilogue. Shadows in the Night. The case of the smiley face killers remains one of the most chilling and enigmatic in the annals of criminal history. Though the perpetrators have been brought to justice, the scars they left behind will linger for years to come. But amidst the darkness, there is hope. Hope that by shining a light on the truth, we can prevent such horrors from ever happening again. And so, as Detective Johnson closes the folder for the final time, she knows that while the smiley face killers may have claimed their victims, they will never claim their souls. The smiley face killers may have faded into history, but their story continues to captivate and confound, inspiring speculation and debate among armchair detectives and seasoned professionals alike. As long as their legacy lives on, so too will the quest for answers, the search for truth, and the fight for justice.